This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Welcome, everyone, to Quality Hang. Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my friend, your friend, my partner in crime, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog? How you doing, man?
What's happening, man? I'm here trying to keep this dog from taking a piss all over the place. I got to keep an eye on him.
Okay, all right. Marcus
that will occur.
Marcus is going to be busy trying to keep his dog. Well, you know what? At least it's just the possibility of a number one. I think number two.
Although the two is stank, but it's easier to clean.
Yeah, I'd rather deal with the number one though.
That's the thing. Like I can just take a little bag and get it gone. That piss is thick and it stinks.
I didn't know you had a dog. What kind of dog?
This is a pup, but he's 35 pounds at 12 weeks. So this is the third one. Got two little dogs, and then this is a big one. He's gonna be a big boy.
So what kind of dog is it? Mastiff?
It's Malinois. Malinois. It's pronounced Malinois.
Oh, one of those giant Belgian dogs. Yeah. One of them police dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be coming to your new house. I just want to let you know that.
He's not being raised by the popo. He's being raised by me. So you know whose side he picking.
No, you know what? And I like what you're doing. I just don't want his DNA to flare up. And he goes, no, that's the one I have to attack. So,
I had to get a bigger dog because about a decade ago, I was living in Castro Valley and I had the house broken into, and I had these two little dogs. And I swear to God, them dogs just kind of invited them on in and just let them steal whatever the fuck they wanted to steal.
Hey, let me just show you where all the stuff is. Do you have any food?
Basically, that ain't gonna happen no more.
No, I have a golden retriever, and if someone did break into our crib, she would do nothing but just lick them to death. That's all she would do. So yeah. You either get the dog you want or you get the dog you need. I guess that's what it boils down to. Before we get into the show, before we get into the improbable victory the Warriors pulled off, the best victory of the season, as always, we would like to thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. And at all 3 locations, they all do the same great things. Fantastic food from a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is absolutely outstanding. Also have a full bar as well, and they also have a full slate of live entertainment at all 3 Hop Monk locations, and it runs the gamut too, from national touring acts who make the Hop Monk locations one of their regular stops. What I love Hop Monk for, live entertainment-wise, is that it's a great place for local acts, no matter how big, how small, how obscure, how independent, how eclectic. You can find them at Hop Monk. And they also have great stuff, too, like country line dancing night, open mic comedy night. So whatever you're looking for live entertainment-wise, even if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to find something at Hop Monk. So see what they have coming up as far as live music, live entertainment at all 3 venues. Follow them on all the socials. Check them out at hopmonk.com. But going there and experiencing Hop Monk is the best way to fall in love with Hop Monk, as we have done. And you can only do that if you check out their 3 locations in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. Let's get to it. The Warriors going into this game tonight, Marcus, against the Rockets. Rockets, one of the best teams in the league, playing well as of late. Very good rebounding team, very good defensive team. Obviously, Kevin Durant is there, Alperen Şengün. This Rockets team going up against the Warriors, who were only dressing 10 guys in uniform tonight. Several of them G League guys on two-way contracts. this was thought to be a game where the Rockets would dispatch of the Warriors fairly easily.
You
Not
would
only
think.
was it not easy for the Rockets, they didn't dispatch of the Warriors. In overtime, the Warriors pulled off an improbable victory, 115-113. And as I mentioned, 10 players in uniform. At one point, Marcus, in the second quarter, the Warriors ran out on the floor. Pat Spencer, Quentin Post, Guy Santos, LJ Cryer, and
Whew,
Nate Williams. They had
woo,
those guys on the floor at the same time.
woo.
But the Warriors put up a valiant effort and basically played an incredible game all the way through. And this is sort of the extension of what we've seen over the last few weeks with the Warriors, obviously, without
Yeah,
Steph Curry, without Kristaps Porzingis, and obviously not having Jimmy Butler for the rest of the season, is that you've gotten some great efforts
yeah,
from this Warrior cast, albeit them very injured. And depending on the team, the Warriors might get a win, as they did. What was it against New Orleans? A couple of bad teams. They put up a good first half, I should say, against the Clippers a few games ago. Then the Clippers mushed them in the face. It was on Monday. Then the Clippers mushed them in the face in the second half. This game tonight against the Rockets, Warriors had a lead in the first half. It got a little dicey for them in the second half, but they
as
kept
usual.
taking great shots. They kept playing great defense, and they kept that rear guard action, if you will. And it was, again, not only an improbable victory, but the best victory of the season to pull that
Wow.
off in overtime.
I didn't get to see the game in its entirety. I'll end up watching it today, but I'm looking at the box right now, and
Mhm.
wow, a lot of minutes for Gee, a
Yeah,
lot of minutes for Pods. Goodness gracious, Horford had
a
33
lot of
minutes.
minutes for Al Horford. Yeah, a lot of minutes. Draymond played 35 minutes.
Draymond went 35. Wow,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And I mean, Gee is kind of a turnover machine, isn't he? The more he plays, the more he turns it over.
Well, I mean, he's not a ball handler for sure.
Definitely not a ball header.
He's not a ball handler, but he's the guy who's going to make plays for you. He had 7 turnovers, but he had 6 assists. Looking here at the box score, mentioned the Rockets, the best rebounding team in the league. They had 42 rebounds. The
Mm,
Warriors had 47
yeah,
rebounds. Warriors shot 48% from the field. Points in the paint. The Rockets, one of the best teams as far as scoring in the paint. Warriors beat the Rockets points in the paint 60-48. It's
mm.
10 guys. And the Rockets, again, being a long team, being an athletic team, being a much bigger team than the Warriors, and being the healthier team, for the Warriors to pull off what they did tonight was pretty damn impressive. And I
Yeah,
saw a tweet. I wish I would have retweeted it, but it was someone who follows the Rockets, who is a content creator for the Rockets. And I'm
yeah.
going to paraphrase this tweet, but he said, "I can't believe Warrior fans complain that Steve Kerr is not a good coach,
It's
because when
and
you see nights like this, you realize how good of a coach he is."
it's so stupid. I mean, beating the Nuggets last week. I mean,
Yeah.
as I said to you before, this team should not be anywhere near 500. You look at that collection of talent. Sorry, that's not a good team. And the fact they're and playing hard and busting their ass for the coach. They clearly don't hate the coach,
Mm-hmm.
or else they would have quit on him. So no, I don't buy the whole thing where he's lucky he had Steph Curry. He came to when people try to denigrate not just Steve Kerr, but any great winning coach, the first thing they go through is, well, they had Shaq and Kobe, or they had Jordan and Pippen,
Right.
or you
That
had
whole
Magic.
anybody could coach that team with those guys, or that
It's
collection of
so
talent.
stupid.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then why is it Mark Jackson had the same exact team, and Steve Kerr won 4 titles, and he immediately won a title with him. The same thing with Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Why is it that Pat Riley went over to the Heat and got a ring his first year coaching? People got to stop this, man.
Well, they're never going to stop, because if you have a narrative that you want to push, and that narrative is either full anti-Steve Kerr, or you want to use an anti-Steve Kerr narrative to prop up a pro-player narrative, or some other narrative, you will do that. I want to mention something here, because I'm I'm a big believer in if you're going to crush somebody, for lack of a better way of putting it, when they do well, you got to give them credit.
Yep.
Let the apology be as loud as the disrespect, to sort of
I
use that
agree
term.
100%.
Brandon Pajemski tonight, 40 minutes, played his
40
tail
minutes.
off. I think this is the best game he's played this season. 10 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from behind the 3-point
Wow.
line. Only 2 for 2 from shooting free throws, but neither team went to the free throw line a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah. Surprising.
Pajemski had 9 rebounds, 5 of them offensive. But here's the main number I want to point to, other than his 26 points. He only had 1 turnover. And this is not an isolated incident. He's been playing well his last couple of games, and I give him credit for what he's done. But when you do it against a team like the Rockets, who are an excellent defensive team, when you have that kind of floor game, that's huge.
Pod should not be able to do that against those guards with the Rockets. That should not happen.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's been playing very well as of late, and I think the way he played tonight is the best that he's played all season long. I would think that we're starting to see not necessarily him going in the right direction, but continuing to go in the right direction. You would have a couple of steps forward for Brandon Pajemski, and then you'd have a couple 3 steps back. What we've seen over the last couple of weeks, it's been a step forward and then another step forward. He's been stacking good game on top of good game on top of good game, good performance on top of good performance on top of good performance. I think it's very important to point that out because clearly he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And the better Brandon Pajemski is, the better it is for the Golden State Warriors now without Steph Curry and when Steph Curry eventually gets back here later on this month or early next month.
Amen, dude. Like I said, with all these guys, it comes down to consistency. You got to. It's not enough to have a good game here and there.
Yeah.
It's not enough to have 2 or 3 good games in a row. You got to be someone who we can dependably expect to get 15, 5, and 5.
Yep.
With 1 or 2 turnovers.
Or if you're not there you go. Or if you're not going to put up those numbers or numbers like we saw tonight, just don't be a drag on the situation. Don't be the reason the shooting percentage is not where it needs to be. Don't be the reason that the ball stops. Don't be the reason that the offense bogs down. Don't be the reason that the turnover numbers are insurmountable. And I think that's the growth of Brandon Pajemski. You don't have the highs and then the lows. You have over the last few games, it's been very steady and consistent. Understanding he's a human being, and also B, he's still a young player. You're going to have the ups and the downs, but they have to be somewhat measured. They can't be these wide gaps between the up and the down. He's had less of those wide gap stretches where you have the high highs and the low lows. It's been consistent and it's been impactful. And to see him do that here in the second half of this season with the Warriors missing so many players, most notably Steph, to see him grow and play better in this stretch of games that has been tough for everybody because of all the injuries, mainly to the one to Steph. Tip of the cap I'm not wearing on my head right now to Brandon Pajemski. If you're going to crush a dude when he's not playing well, you got to give him props when he does play well, and he's played his ass off these last few games, particularly tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, it really does come down to consistency for these guys. Just show that you can do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Give it to us day in and day out. And that has been listen, people act like Pods is like Steve Kerr's pet. Well, he kind of is, but he gets penalized as well. Like they don't talk about the times when he gets pulled out of the games because he's not playing well, because he's not doing something right. But typically he's making mistakes within the framework of the offense. And I think that Kerr is willing to let you make a mistake or two if your mistake is within the frame of the offense. You can have a brain fart. You can do something stupid. But if you're making mistakes because you're being a selfish player, trying to get your own thing essentially, or just trying to go rogue instead of the framework of the offense, you're probably going to get pulled a lot.
Another thing I liked about the Warriors' whole get down offensively in this game, and it was evident early. I think the Warriors, to their detriment, they've been notorious these last this last 5-6 weeks without Steph, of just jacking up threes and taking a lot of threes but not making them, and just hoping that enough go in to where they can stay in the game and possibly win the game. Like I said, to me, that's not a smart strategy. It's not a good strategy. It's detrimental to winning. The Warriors tonight, they Al Horford had a couple of post ups early. They were driving to the basket. They were getting to the paint. They were being very, very, they were being very wise in how they went down low early or got to the basket early and then started kicking it out for threes. They did inside out offense, which is something that was a staple in the NBA. Now it's just about, we're just going to be spamming threes. And the Warriors fell victim to that, and we're not very good in doing that. To see the Warriors make a conscious decision tonight to get to the basket, whether it's in the old traditional post-ups or, whether it's just straight line drives, and then have the outside game come off of the get to the basket game. I think that shocked the Rockets a little bit. And by the time the Rockets were able to adjust, I think the Warriors had enough confidence in the game plan and what they were doing, and it caused the Rockets to scramble. And it got the Rockets off balance. So to see the Warriors, I forget what game it was. I think it might have been against the Clippers, where in the first half for the Warriors, it was either threes or layups. There was absolutely nothing else in between, and it worked for them in the first half. And then the shots stopped. It was the game against the Clippers on Monday. Then the shots stopped falling in the second half. Clippers' talent, their size eventually took over, and the Clippers won the game. To see the Warriors change their offensive strategy, at least for this one game against a superior opponent, I give them credit for that.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that was part of the game plan going in. Is just take it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Take it to them, see what you get. I mean, listen, this is a team, and I'm looking at I keep looking at the numbers from the game, the box score, really evenly matched. The Warriors are 45 out of 94. And the Rockets were 44 out of 96. So obviously a really, really tight game. Good. The Warriors have to make shots. That's the other thing. They typically get a lot of open shots and they miss it. Sometimes they miss the easiest bunnies. And that is, I'm sorry, you can't recover from that. You're not good enough to recover from missing those types of shots. Anthony Melton looks like he had a good game as well.
Yep, for sure. I mean, no, everybody had a good game. You had 5 starters in double figures. The starters, Podziemski, Melton, Horford, Draymond, and Guy Santos. And as I mentioned at one point, everybody contributed a little something.
Dude, what's going on? This doesn't make sense to me. How is Kevin Durant only getting 16 shots? And Sengun getting 20 and Shepard getting 19?
Well, first off, Reece Shepard didn't start, which is dumb because
it's also crazy.
the Warriors have nothing for Reece Shepard. I want to say he had 34 in the game the Warriors played against the Rockets at Chase in November. He had a big game tonight. For whatever reason, Ime Udoka does not want to start Reece Shepard when he has Jabari Smith back in the mix. And what did Jabari Smith do tonight? He went 0 for 8 from the field in 42 minutes and change of run. The problem for the Rockets is they don't have a point guard. Okay. And if you had a point guard, that point guard would know that Kevin Durant gets more than 16 shots.
Bro,
and that point guard knows that Alperen Sengun should not be the guy that takes the most field goals on that team as long as Kevin Durant is walking around. If you had a point guard on that, and again, the thing with Reece Shepard, as good of a shooter as he is, and he's a good passer, he's a very good offensive ball player, they hunt him on defense. And the Warriors did that tonight, where anytime they had a chance to get Reece Shepard in the paint and down low, they went at him. And that's a problem now, and it's definitely going to be a problem in the playoffs. For me, as someone who is partial to Rockets basketball, I think he's so good for them offensively that it not necessarily masks his defensive inabilities, but I think his offensive output it overwhelms, for lack of a better way of putting it, what he does not give you on defense. He's too good, no matter his defensive shortcomings, to not have on the floor as much as possible. He should have played 41 minutes instead of the 37 or the 42 that Jabari Smith played. So for the Rockets, this is going to be a problem for them. They got to figure out how they can keep Reed Sheppard on the floor, and they got to figure out who Reed Sheppard.
Yeah, is he first off the bench?
He's for. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. To me, you got to start him. To me, you got to start him.
I mean, maybe he's the guy who just needs to have the ball and just be unfettered with nobody else around him as the scorer. Maybe he's just that guy. Just instant offense coming off the bench. You got to have somebody come off the bench who can score for you.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I'll give you that for sure. I just. Yeah, because if you don't have him come off the bench tonight, absolutely. Oh yeah.
I mean,
but I just think for the Rockets, with them still being a youngish team, I think for them flow is very important, and they've got to get off to good starts. Now they have enough talent, enough offensive talent, and they're a good enough team rebounding wise and defensive wise to get those extra shots, to get those extra possessions. But I think for them, the way they start dictates a lot about how they play the sort of the meat of the game, the middle of the game. I mean, because for all intents and purposes, giving credit to the Warriors and what they were able to do, the Warriors should not have been able to score 30 points in the first quarter, while the Rockets only had 20.
No.
That's it. And Rockets don't score 20 points if Reed Sheppard plays in the first quarter or he starts. So there you go.
Yeah, it's I'm looking. Kevin Durant, 41 minutes and only 23 points.
Yeah,
and 16 shots. That's insane to me.
Yeah, no,
that's insane.
He's got to get more shots, and don't get me started on Alper and Şengün.
Is there a chemistry problem on that team?
I think so. I hesitate to answer this question because, the Kevin Durant talking shit on his burners, talking shit about, Şengün being a traffic cone defensively because he is, and talking shit about Jabari Smith Jr. just not being that intuitive of a basketball player because he's not. There's some disconnect there. I do want to put that aside for a second, even though I think that does have some importance. Just from a basketball point of view, and as somebody who watches the Rockets just as much as I watch the Warriors, I see it. They get bogged down, and they just don't have anybody that can say, hey, we're not going to get a ball to Şengün. This is not the time for Amen Thompson to shoot a three. This is a time for us to find a way to get the ball to Kevin Durant or get the ball to whoever is hot. And the one thing the Rockets don't do is that they just don't, unless Kevin Durant is actually doing it himself or unless Reed Sheppard is actually doing it himself, they don't have anybody who can get them organized, who can get the ball to the person it should go to. They don't have anybody who can get the ball to the hot hand. And that's going to cost them.
It kind of makes me feel like I'm wondering what Ime is doing with this squad, because at some point what it makes me feel like is that these guys don't know their roles.
I would say that's fair.
At some point, you've got to know, like, my job is XYZ.
Yeah.
This dude, Kevin Durant, is a Hall of Famer. He maybe has, 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left in the game. We need to start looking for KD.
Yeah.
And then let him facilitate one way or another. But the
100%.
offense goes to KD. And
100%.
maybe he is doing that. And maybe they're going, no, I'm going to get mine. Who knows? But 100%. I just feel like that's a minor adjustment that maybe could or should be made.
Yeah.
I think these guys should win it all this year. So,
boy, you believe in them a lot more than I do. They've got to get that thing straightened out. They've got to figure out the Reed Sheppard thing. And I think for them, if they could get Fred VanVleet back, just to somehow throw some organization in there, that'll be better for them. But for now, they just seem to flounder at the worst time. If the Rockets don't overwhelm you, as they did not tonight, if they don't overwhelm you with their defense and their rebounding, particularly their offensive rebounding prowess. If they don't overwhelm you with that and you stay in a game with them and you make it tight, they just don't have the organization late in games unless Kevin Durant is really on one, which could happen. All right. If Durant makes a couple of buckets down the stretch, if he has the ball, we're probably talking about something different than the Warriors beating the Rockets tonight with only 10 guys, 115 to 113. But in the playoffs, those possessions and those games get harder and harder and harder the deeper you go in the playoffs. If you can keep it tight with them and you get late, they seem like organizationally they'll find a way to screw it up, or more to the point, they'll find a way for the ball to not be in the hands of the right person. Let's put it that way.
I'm looking at the room. If Van Vliet comes back, he starts, and if you got your wish, you start Reed Shepherd. Who's coming off the bench, and where are they going to get the bench scoring? So you literally started all your best offensive players are starters.
But here's the thing though with the Rockets is that because they are such a good rebounding team and because they are such a good defensive team, which means they get second chance points with the offensive rebounds, and they also, because they are a young athletic team, they could get out and go with fast break points and points in the paint. I think when they get into the flow of what they do, it's not necessarily about who's coming off the bench to score. I think they have enough guys to score in the manner in which they play, which is getting out there, running, fast breaks, dunks, layups, putbacks, all of those things that they cash in on because of how good they are defensively and particularly how good they are offensive rebounding wise. I think it's so important for them to get off to those good starts. And I think Reed Shepherd provides them that opportunity. It's so important for them to get off to those good starts to that if they have a lead of, let's just say, 8 to 12 points at halftime, they have enough athleticism on both ends of the floor and enough guys who play that athletic style to where you might make it tight, but they still have enough to pressure in that regard, if any of that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. I'm just really kind of surprised and disappointed in this squad. This is my team. I thought these guys had it, and I maybe the integration hasn't been as smooth.
Yeah.
Because there's no Fred VanVleet. Who knows? But it's odd that they're not as good as we expected them to be. When you did was add the one thing that they needed, they got, and they aren't better.
Yeah, they're a better shooting team. Free throw shooting wise, they're better than they were last year. Remember how they just bricked so many in that series against the Warriors, but there's still that piece missing. I mean, it's hard to have all of your flaws and deficiencies covered up. It's hard to win championships, and I think for the Rockets, I still think they're a team that can get to at minimum the second round, but getting beyond that with their late game offensive disorganization, that's going to be an issue. But I tell you what, man, and it's been this way for a while. The Rockets can't beat the Warriors. They just can't. Whether Steph plays,
it is a weird thing.
While Steph has a ton to do with that, and Game 7, Buddy Hield had a ton to do with that last year. There's been a couple of consistent pieces, in the Rockets Warriors saga, and those two pieces were there tonight. Draymond had a very good game, and Steve Kerr. I think those two guys know what the hell they're doing when it comes to playing the Rockets. Got to give them a ton of credit for that, man.
Yeah.
Ton of credit for that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. But you know what? Like you said, this thing could turn around and become huge for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's and I think also for the Rockets, it's depending on the matchup. As it stands right now, I believe that the Lakers are the 6th seed. So if the Rockets stay the 3rd seed, I'd take the Rockets over the Lakers in that somewhat hypothetical matchup, 8 days to Sunday. But I mean, once you start to mess around with I mean, OKC and San Antonio are just on another planet. But once you start messing around with Denver, who's up on the Lakers tonight, 70-56. Once you start messing with Denver, once you start messing with Minnesota, it becomes a whole different situation where you have to be organized late in games because more than likely the majority of those games you play in a 7-game series are going to be tight when you get to the fourth quarter. They're going to be clutch games.
I don't know how much you're following the Lakers saga, but it is very interesting that they are shitting on Luka so bad right now. It's hilarious.
I mean,
Just,
are they shitting on him, or are they seeing what everybody was seeing?
Yep. That's exactly it. I mean, we've talked about this guy multiple times, and I've said many times that I think Luka is entertaining, but I don't think he's a guy who is going to win a ring. Yeah. I just don't think he can. His defense is way too atrocious. He spends too much time bitching and you think Draymond is bitching at refs?
He got a technical a couple of nights ago, Luka, when he missed a free throw and started complaining. I think he was complaining for a lane violation. Complained enough or said enough of the magic words that he got I've never seen anybody get teed up shooting a free throw. Ever.
I mean, damn.
I didn't know that could happen.
And it's every year. It's every year. And
it's
they
every
say
game.
It every year. And he does the same shit.
Yeah.
And it always, Luka looks great. Luka's body looks amazing. He's going to stop bitching at the refs this year. And he ends up getting out of shape and bitching at the refs.
No.
And his numbers don't really, I hate to say this, man, because guys like Luka, and this is when we get into this Eras discussion, guys like Luka would thrive more in the 80s and 90s because they would be thriving in isolation offenses. There's too much skill today to play that way. There's too many people who can hit you too many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And if Luka doesn't have the ball in his hands, he is 100% worthless. Mm-hmm. Isolation offenses are done. They had a guy who's great on offense. They stick a bunch of defensive dudes around him, and they maybe have some, really strong top 15 center, and you can win championships that way. That's done, bro.
Yep,
that's done. And he's the example of the reason that people don't use these isolation offenses anymore. It just won't work.
Couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. Couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it. And enjoy Luka. Enjoy him bitching and moaning and dribbling the air out of the basketball. No, it's great, Lakers. No, enjoy that. Enjoy that. Let's see here. Would you like to see Anthony Edwards dunk on someone
always
in a viciously entertaining way?
Always.
All right, here we go. Hopefully this works here.
Ooh. Edwards, the crossover, the drive, the finish! Right in the face of R.J. Barrett.
Let's get a close-up on that, please.
That was nasty. Look at the yell.
Yeah, let's watch it again, shall we? Yeah, of course. Just, Lord have mercy.
Edwards, the crossover, the drive, the finish! Right in the face of R.J. Barrett.
God. He's clearly not Michael Jordan, but boy, at times, don't he look like him?
Listen, that dude he's a beast, man.
Don't he look like, bruh? Don't this look like some nasty shit Mike J would have done to the Knicks?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Come on, man.
The push off and everything.
The push off and everything. Yeah, boy. That was a bad young man right there.
Two hands too?
Yeah, two hands and just talking real nasty and crazy.
I love that shit. That'll never get old. You want to hear a cool story?
Bring it.
Pablo Torre, whose podcast is fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
His podcast is fantastic.
Pablo Torre finds out. Yeah.
He had former Warrior and Miami Heat player, and he may have played for the Wizards, for the Bullets, Ronnie Cycling.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie Cycli, and this is a story I had never heard.
DJ Ronnie Cycli. He's a DJ now. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Crazy. By the way,
would have been a Houston Rocket, by the way. There was a trade to bring Ronnie Cycli to the Rockets, and the Heat would have gotten Akeem Olajuwon. I don't know how that trade fell through or what. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Wait, what?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's back when Dream. It was right before he got deep into his Muslim faith, and the owner of the Rockets at the time, what was the guy's name? Charlie Thomas. I mean, Dream and the Rockets organization. Oof, they were butting heads. It was really, really nasty. So
Remember
it was
that
92 or 93.
Had to be 93.
Yeah, they basically had a deal for Roddy Cycli, and Dream would have gone to Miami. Anyway, I interrupted with that, but there you go. There's your
awesome.
Useless bit of trivia for the day. There you go.
That's great trivia. I wish I had known that. But he was on with Pablo Torre, and he was talking about Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson retirement. After he retired, he came back and he played that All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, leading vote getter for that All-Star game, which is crazy. But Ronnie Cycli told a story about how he was instrumental in Magic Johnson playing in that game. It turns out that, and you remember the controversy where nobody wanted to be near him, nobody wanted to touch him, all this stuff.
Right.
I guess Ronnie was saying it was so bad for Magic Johnson that he would have to go out. When he would go out on the court, nobody would be around him. He would literally be on the court by himself.
Yeah.
He would go to the basket. Everybody would leave.
Oh, you remember the main guy who was pushing that shit? It was Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, yeah. Karl Malone. And apparently Magic was really despondent about, like, and I get it, because you're Magic Johnson. You're used to everybody loving you and being around you, and now all of a sudden you get on the floor and not a single solitary soul wants to even be near you and wants to touch you.
Yeah.
But Roddy said he got tired of seeing this, and he went out there, and Magic was by himself on the court, just shooting by himself. Ronnie saw him, went up to him and said, "Man, you want to go one-on-one?" And he said Magic looked at him like he was crazy.
Oh, man.
Because he's like, really? He's like, really? Yeah, we go one-on-one. And he said, I told Magic, I ain't gonna take it easy on you though. I ain't gonna take it easy on you. And he's like, Magic was like, okay, let's go. And he said that him and Magic went out there and they played a bunch of games of one-on-one, and it was instrumental in getting Magic ready and hyped up and prepared for that game, because I guess he was even considering not playing.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to be near him. And I mean, this is fucking Magic Johnson. But Ronnie was like, nope. I got out there. We went one-on-one. And after that, Magic was ready to go. I'm like, that is
Shout out Ronnie Cycli. That's dope.
Great story.
It's absolutely dope.
Because can you imagine? I mean, back now it's nothing to us because we know so much about it. But back then, everybody thought it was a death sentence. And you'd even touch somebody who had HIV, not AIDS, y'all.
Yeah.
HIV.
Well, I mean, listen, it didn't matter to people.
Exactly.
The distinction was one that it didn't matter to people. We were so uninformed. We were ignorant, and with that ignorance came fear. And you combine those two things together, and also, the hyper masculine arena that is sports. And we just didn't know anything back in the late 80s, early 90s. You get us doing dumb shit. But what you need is people to be courageous and to show some kindness. And just hearing you retell that story, that was just Ronnie Cycli being kind, seeing another human being be isolated, seeing another human being be shunned by the very people who supposedly loved him or supposedly saw him as a brother because they all played the game, treated him as this medical pariah. And not only seeing somebody get isolated purposefully by people, but also, I mean, he probably didn't know whether he was going to live or die. you know,
Absolutely.
or how much longer he was going to be alive. So to hear that story where Ronnie Cycli shows some humanity
It's
and
amazing.
shows kindness and shows bravery at the same time. That's a damn cool story.
Yeah, people don't. I don't think people. I think you and I appreciate it because we remember that we were around. But I don't think folks would even understand the significance of something like that. Retelling it, like I think you're one of the few people who understands what that really meant.
Oh, I mean,
Specifically,
just from a standpoint of, I mean, I remember those times, and this is not to say, you know, I was a young man then. This is not to say I didn't have those ignorant thoughts as well. You know, in terms of being afraid of someone with HIV or AIDS,
yeah,
if I got their sweat or if I got their blood on me,
yeah,
you know, we were all ignorant and fearful. Um, but remembering those times, but also having, you know, I mean, the fact that Magic is still with us,
yes,
and
crazy.
not only did he play in that game, but he came back to play, and obviously he's, you know, had, I mean, he's had 2 lifetimes, if not 3
Yeah,
lifetimes.
yeah,
You know, when he was Irvin Johnson at
yeah,
Michigan State, when he was Magic in the '80s, when, you know, going through his public, I mean, he had to go out and publicly tell the world that he had HIV. No one else
crazy.
has done that. No,
Nobody else.
no,
Nobody else
no
can
one.
do it.
There have been other people who have. There have been public figures who
Yeah,
have contracted HIV
yeah. And you
and
found out later
AIDS,
on when it was
and you
when it was
found
over.
out.
Yep,
Okay, you found out either after they died, like Freddie
yep,
Mercury, or you found out right before they
yep,
died. But no one in human history has had a fucking press conference to say,
yep.
I have HIV, other than one person, Magic
Facts.
Johnson, and he's a billionaire, and he's still alive.
Living
Come
life,
on. It doesn't make any
living
sense,
life,
man. Does not
and
make
looks healthy.
looks, I mean, it's the size of a
Looks extremely
steakhouse, for God's sakes.
healthy.
Um, we were marveling at the Warriors' very impressive win tonight. If you're just joining us, Warriors with only 10 players, several of those guys being two G leaguers on those two-way contracts. Warriors beat the Rockets in overtime, 115 to 113, 5 starters in double figures. With Steph being out for the entire month of February, and still don't know exactly when he's coming back. A lot of Warrior fans or people who are just observers of the Warriors are saying that the Warriors should tank. Steph should not play, and the remaining Warriors should not put up the effort that we saw tonight that is required to win basketball games against superior competition. They want the Warriors to tank for a better draft pick. And there clearly, Marcus, many teams in the NBA. Oh, look at the puppy. Oh boy. Oh, yeah. He looks so cute now. Then all of a sudden, when he's full grown, he's going to be at my throat. I can't wait. There are clearly teams that are tanking, and Marcus has gotten to the point now where it is so ridiculous that there are 30 teams in the NBA. For folks who don't know, 20 of those teams are shown on this graphic that you see on the screen right here.
Insane.
Okay. These 10 teams, Milwaukee, Chicago, Memphis, Dallas, New Orleans, Utah, Washington, Brooklyn, Indiana, and the lowly Sacramento Kings. Do they even still have the ability to light the beam? Is that even still a thing anymore in Sacramento? Yeah, anyway, I
It
digress.
would be embarrassing if they did. Like, you have 14 wins. Don't light any beams.
Don't light it. Don't light it at all.
Maybe take a lighter out, but don't light any
Yeah.
beams.
You know what? You can turn on your cell phone light. Like, okay, you turn this on. But as far as actually lighting the beam, don't do that. But before tonight's slate of NBA games started, these 10 teams that you see on the screen, if you're watching, were responsible for losing collectively over the last, what are we saying here? 10 days, responsible for losing, these 10 teams, 44 games. 44 games. Milwaukee had lost 4. Chicago lost a game. Memphis 2. Mavericks 4. Pelicans 2, the Jazz, who are tanking, tanking.
Ooh-wee.
7 in a row. Washington 6, Brooklyn 9, the Pacers 7, and the Sacramento Kings had lost 2 games in a row. 30 teams in the NBA. 10 of them, Marcus, before games got started tonight, had lost 44 games in a row. Damn.
That's insane, dude. That's insane. And there's really not anything anybody can do about it.
No, not a damn thing.
Nothing anybody can do about it. Let these teams suck.
And because they are allowed to do so, they are sucking at it's just weapons grade sucking is what you're seeing. Now, to be fair, Utah did beat Washington tonight, 122 to 112, and New Orleans and Sacramento are playing right now. And I was going to look that score up, but you know what? The New Orleans Pelicans and the Sacramento Kings do not deserve the effort that it would take for me to move this mouse that my right hand is hovering on to click on the scores I have, the score tab I have in the corner here, and for me to give you guys the score. They don't deserve the minimal amount of effort it would take for me to do that, and I'm not going to do that. So
Fantastic.
There you go. That's how I fight back against the tanking. But 30 teams and 10 of them either stink or are tanking out loud. That ain't good. Not good at all.
Yeah, none of them are embarrassed. I mean, but like I said, good for the Warriors because they're not out here trying to lose no games.
Nope. None of these teams are embarrassed. None of these teams are losing money. And you make a very good point, Marcus. Good for the Warriors because not only are the Warriors going to see some of these teams here as we're getting to the last 5-6 weeks of the season, with the Warriors being in that play-in realm in that 7 to 10 range, and the Warriors are sitting now at 8th in the Western Conference. The Warriors don't have to worry about anybody behind them other than the Clippers. They don't have to worry about anybody behind them making a real charge or making a real push to possibly knock the Warriors either down in the play-in range or knock them out of the play-in together. So this is going to work in the Warriors' advantage for sure.
Yeah, I don't even feel like the Clippers are really trying to do anything.
The Clippers are dangerous in my mind just because they have Kawhi Leonard.
Why? Yeah.
You have a player that good. And he's healthy and listen, Kawhi, when he's on the court, you are going to get a maximum effort as much as you're going to get out of Kawhi. He's not a guy that you really see exerting a lot of energy. The thing with Kawhi Leonard, he's either going to play or he ain't going to play. Right. So if he's out there, you're going to get a very good basketball player. So I think the Clippers are dangerous in that regard just because he's so good. But ultimately, I think to your point, they're still the Clippers. And I think for the Clippers, a noted group of underachievers for years, not just this current iteration of the Clippers, but for as long as they've been the Clippers, for that noted group of underachievers to put forth the amount of effort on a night in, night out basis to do something dangerous, I'm with you in that regard. I don't necessarily see that happening.
No, they're going to clip out like they always do, which is fine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One more thing before we move on to non-sports related matters. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles tendon a little bit less than 10 months ago.
Yeah, dude.
He's going to play tomorrow.
I think this is crazy, but that's just me. I just think it's crazy. In
what regard?
My feeling is that he is coming back way too soon. But I could be insane and crazy and wrong. But I'm like, 10 months to come back from Achilles, and you want to jump right back into NBA? I don't know what kind of rehab he's been doing. I don't know if he's been getting some run in with the team in practice. I don't know how much he's been doing. I just know that my feeling is that this thing may not work out that well.
The only player that I can remember that has come back that around the same time or in a time frame where you go, wow, that was fast, was Kobe. This is,
and he was never the same.
Yeah. I'll say that this is unusual for sure. I don't know how bad or how good this can turn out, just because we haven't seen him play. I
Right.
will say this, and this is where, in an age where we are skeptical of a lot, just everything that's happening. This is where I just kind of go, okay, I'm going to think about this logically. That Jason Tatum, forget about what he wants to do.
Yep.
He's very important to the Celtics. And I will assume that Jason Tatum wants to play for a long time. I would think that he has access to some of the best medical professionals on the planet, his own group and what the Celtics have at their disposal, and maybe even a third party, maybe even a third opinion. I would think that there are enough people who have signed off on this to where it makes sense. Now, again, we don't know if he's going to come back and be, if he's going to be okay, if he's going to be terrible, if he could get back to what he was before the Achilles injury in whatever the time frame is. We don't know. I just think that there's too much at stake for this decision to be made in sort of a hasty or a rash manner. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my feeling is that, and I hate to be, again, this is me being skeptical. I would hate to think that in his mind he's like, I gotta get back,
come back.
Because,
right.
Because I don't want them to see that they don't need me because they're doing so well without me. And now Jaylen Brown is being talked about as MVP. I need to get back and show them who I am. Like,
right.
You ain't got to do that, man. You got
but see, this is where I think the Celtics, if and I think they're a smart organization, that if there was any of that go fever from Tatum to where he felt like he had to get back just to show that he's still the guy on that team, that the Celtics would throw up a barrier and throw up a roadblock and say, no, this is not the smart way to do it. He very well may feel that way. But I think if the Celtics are allowing him to do that, to me, because if they do that, they are almost accepting some of the liability, so to speak, if it goes wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I again, I'm the skepticism I get. I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of I would hope that the right decision is being made by the right people for all the right reasons.
Yep. That is always the hope. And again, this may be something he may be thinking to himself. And the Celtics may not know anything about it. They may even be asking him, and he's giving them all the right answers. But I would just hate to see him come back and then something else happen to him. Because he simply wasn't quite ready.
Here's something interesting. He had surgery the day after or 2 days after his injury. I forget exactly. He had it fairly quickly. For a lot of Achilles injuries, they wait a few days. They wait for the swelling to go down. There is a thought that because Tatum got the reattachment surgery done damn near immediately after he tore the Achilles tendon, that has accelerated his recovery. Has it accelerated it that much to where he could come back and play a little bit less than 10 months after tearing it? We're going to find out how legit that is. But the Celtics are playing good basketball, getting Jason Tatum back in whatever capacity. I think it's going to be a benefit for them. When's the last time you've been on an airplane? When's the last time you've flown? It's been fairly recently, right?
Last May.
Okay, yeah, all right. So last year, air travel is rough. It's rough out there, dog. And not just because of the airlines, and not just because of the Homeland Security and on the FAA and all that nonsense. It's rough just dealing with your fellow man out there. And I will lean into this being the old man, the old man point of view. I absolutely hate people watching videos or listening to music on their phones without headphones.
That's not old man. That's common decency, and these people should be slapped.
I absolutely hate it. If it's a child, and I'm going to be very specific here, if it's a child under the age of 10, we'll allow it. Anybody older than that knows how to put something in their ear and take it out, anybody older than that, if you're watching a video or you're listening to music, or even worse yet, if you're talking, people talking on the phone in public.
I don't want to hear your shit.
On speakerphone, what the fuck? All right. But, out in the world, if somebody's doing that, you can walk away from them. But if you're in an airport, or if you're on a plane waiting to take off, or if you just landed, listening to somebody's music or the video that they're watching, or listening to their conversation on speakerphone, just absolutely grinds my gears.
I'm with you, baby.
Shout out to United Airlines, because United Airlines is the first is the first airline in the United States to crack down on people not using headphones when listening to audio or watching video content. And let me say this to United Airlines. You have a lifelong customer in your boy Rod Brooks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all the other airlines should follow suit.
Like I always say, before it was a law, it had to be a problem. And, and this is exactly
thank you. Oh my God.
Exactly what I mean. This is an issue. I wish they would do it on all public transportation.
Yeah.
Find people.
Yeah.
And then not don't just put up signs that say keep the music down or use headphones. Have people walking through the trains handing out fines. Hand them out like they Halloween candy.
When I retire, here's what I want to do. I want to, and you know what? And I'll even do it for free, right? Because that's just the kind of guy I am. I will walk up and down, let's say a BART train.
Hey, that's all right.
What did the dog? Was it so? Okay, quality hangers. Marcus just got a new puppy, and the new puppy still in the house training phase. Okay.
All right.
Did the puppy go 1, or did the puppy go 2? Well, you know what? Marcus sat down and now he went back. My guess is it went number 2.
Went number 1.
It went number 1. Okay, you know what? I was wrong.
But he started to go on the couch, so I had to get him up. I had to get him about the paint. Get him about the paint.
I don't even remember what I was saying before that. Doesn't matter. So tip of the cap I'm not wearing to United Airlines for making people wear headphones if they're going to listen to audio or video on their phones. That almost was the best thing that I've seen today, which we will get to in just a second. But I have something better that qualifies as the best thing that I have seen today. But before I show you the best thing that I have seen today, it is time now for on this date, March 5th. We love history here at Quality Hang World Headquarters. And on this date in 1770, the Boston Massacre occurred. 5 Americans, including a brother, Crispus Attucks,
yes, sir,
were fatally shot by British troops in an event that would contribute to the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War 5 years later. So on this date, a black man and 4 of the cats were killed by British troops, and it is most notably known as the Boston Massacre. And that took place on this date, March 5th, all the way back in 1770. Black men been catching hell in the United States even before it was the United States.
All bad. Yeah, man. That's the story. We don't talk enough about Crispus Attucks, to be honest.
Shout out to the homie Crispus Attucks.
We do not talk enough about that dude. The first casualty.
Exactly. Probably was minding his business.
Maybe he wasn't minding his business. Maybe that was why they got him first.
I'd like to think of Crispus Attucks as, while everybody else was walking around there with their powdered wigs, he had like the freshest.
He did.
The freshest natural.
He had finger waves. Everybody had a wig. He had finger waves.
I would like to think that Christmas addict, everybody walking around there with their shoes with the buckles on them, like he had the freshest shoes with the
You know he
biggest
did.
buckles
You know
on
he
them.
did.
He had too much drip. He had too much swag. That's why the redcoats, that's why the British troops had to
Got it
gun our
first.
man down. He was just too fly. He was too fly. They didn't know how to handle that kind of seasoning. They were British.
Yeah, they had
So
no
there you go.
idea.
There
Story
you
of
go.
our lives.
There
He
you
was
go.
the first to go out that way, and he's the blueprint ever since.
Boston Massacre occurred on this date, March 5th, 1770. We move forward many a year on this date. Billie Jean became
Oh,
the number one song in the United States of America. It stayed the number one song for 7 weeks. YouTube copyright laws prevent me from playing Billie Jean lest I get struck down, but we're all hearing that bass line in our head, aren't we? Of course we are.
yeah, I mean, this was it's one of those things you really can't talk to younger people about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had to be there. Every time I talk about Michael Jackson to somebody younger, and every time they try to tell me, well, such and such is probably as big as no, they're not. They're not as big as Michael Jackson.
Nope.
There's not a single entertainer on the face of the planet that's ever been as big as Michael Jackson. And y'all don't even understand it. I mean,
that movie coming out next month is
I'll
going
be there.
to educate a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah, dude. People think that these influencers have like 50 million fans, and yet not everybody knows about them. There wasn't a person on the planet who didn't know the name Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Not a person. If somebody went and said, I don't know who's popular, like DJ Academics, who got like 30 million followers or something, you say, hey, you know who DJ Academics is? Nobody would know.
No.
But everybody knows Michael Jackson.
This is pre-social media. This is the beginning of MTV. There's no streaming, so you had to actually go and get records. You had to listen to things on the radio. It wasn't like there were a bunch of Michael Jackson movie and TV shows out there. Like people around the world knew who this guy was, just basically off the strength. Like that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Billie Jean became the number one song in the country on this date in 1983, and it stayed at that top spot for 7 consecutive weeks. And we finish up on this date in 2002, the Osbournes premiered on MTV. Ozzy was well known, obviously, his Black Sabbath days and his solo days. Ozzy was a pretty famous dude. I think the Osbournes, I mean, Ozzy died last year. Yeah. So you're going from 2002 to 2025. I mean, the last, let's say 25 years of Ozzy's life, he was known by more people.
Yep.
All right. And they were young, old, white, black. It wasn't just people who were into his music, people who were into Black Sabbath, people who were into to solo Ozzy stuff. It wasn't just a good amount of people, but when you are sort of comparatively speaking, it was still a smaller group of people. The Osbournes rocketed him to a mainstream popularity that he didn't have when he was with Sabbath or when he was doing his solo music stuff. That's how big this show was.
Oh yeah, that mainstream popularity, that he developed that cross section of the mainstream because of that show.
Yeah.
Before that show, you were pretty much a male, 25 to 35, black, white, whatever. That's who you were. This show brought women, it brought kids, it brought the MTV generation because a lot of those kids didn't know who Ozzy was. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And MTV did that with a few people.
Yeah. That's back when MTV actually had power. That's back when MTV actually had influence. It like little kids knew Ozzy Osbourne. moms and grandmoms who obviously would never, ever have listened to any of Ozzy's music.
Nope.
None of it. All right. But they
Not-
knew who he was based off the strength of the Osbournes. I liken where Ozzy was during and post the Osbournes. I liken it to where Snoop Dogg is right now. Whereas Snoop Dogg, because of television mainly, you know, how he's the world's cool uncle, you know.
It is a trip.
And I think Ozzy got some of that based purely off of the strength of the Osbournes, which premiered on this date on MTV on March 5th, 2002.
All right, Ozzy. Rest in peace, my man.
Rest in peace, Ozzy. Yeah, man, for sure. I was listening to some Black Sabbath Sabotage earlier today, and you know what? It still holds up. So there you go. On this date, March 5th, all the way back in 1770, the Boston Massacre occurred. On this date in 1983, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, of course, hit #1 and it stayed there for 7 weeks. And on this date in 2002, the Osbournes premiered on MTV. All right, here we go. The best thing that I have seen today, something that I've seen on the internets, and I wanted to show it to you because if it's the best thing that I've seen today, I hope it becomes the best thing that you will have seen today. Alyssa Liu, gold medal winning figure skating from the recently completed Olympics in wherever the hell it was in Italy. She's back in the Bay. I believe it's going to be a big celebration in Oakland in the next couple of days. So I can't wait for that. But you know how it is when you are big in Oakland. Somebody's gonna put up a mural of you. All right. That's how Oakland shows its love. Yeah, they're gonna come out for the celebration, without a doubt. They're gonna show you the love, but you know you are beloved in Oakland when someone takes the time to paint a mural of you on the side of a building in Oakland. Well, Alyssa Liu, she has gotten that love, and it was completed, the mural today at the corner of Telegraph and 43rd.
Love it.
It's a mural of when she did the Mac Dre. When she did the Mac Dre after winning the gold medal in figure skating a couple of weeks ago. And here's what I love about the mural. You notice the colors, right?
Yep.
Green, gold. Yeah. For the A's. Absolutely. So it is Oakland to the core. So that's the best thing I've seen today. And I would think it's the best thing you've seen today too.
I love it, baby. I'm all about that.
I love
Town is my life.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So there we go. It's another edition of Quality Hang. Before we get out of here, we would like to thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Check them out. You will not be disappointed. The chat was going off tonight.
Yeah,
people in there getting active. We love that you guys are a part of what we do. We love that you have created a community, and we love that you guys get in there and have some fun. While we are here having some fun with and for you. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. How about we do this again on Monday, Marcus? What do you say?
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
All right, go take care of your dog. Everybody, have yourselves a fantastic evening. And as always, be good and be good at it. We'll see you. Bye.